Hello and welcome to On Point Opinions.
I'm Juan Holcomb.
And I'm Bobby Kinzer. Our show is dedicated to empowering people with information. We'll be discussing significant topics of interest, topics that are hot, controversial, relevant, and on point.
And there's a lot of chatter out there, but that's why we're here. We're going to cut through the muck and the mire, and we're going to get everybody on point. Thus, On Point Opinion. It's good to be back, Bob.
Yes, we here every first Sunday of the month, and we at 6 p.m. We're looking forward to people clicking on the like button so they'll get more traction, and the heart. You need to click on the heart button, and please put comments in the comment box. If you have an opinion on something that we're talking about, put it in the comment box. We like to address it. Or if you have a topic that you like for us to cover, put it in the comment box, because it is going to be a wonderful show, Juan, because I'm tired of people putting out this fake information. And you notice most people, shortcomings these days is lack of information and misinformation. Mm-hmm. So me and Juan, we're going to be able to clear some of that up. So with that fact, Juan, let's start into our first subject, man.
Let's do
it. Is democracy democracy is under attack. The GOP seems like they just forgot all about, governing, and now they just want to be like a sect. It's almost like a cult. Mm-hmm. And they want you to just do what they want you to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's just start with Texas. Texas is leading the way. We're coming with all these crazy laws. How can you the governor, try to talk about creating a law to ban people from wearing masks?
It's just been a week, and so much has gone on. It used to say democracy going away was hyperbole, but now it is strictly on the ballot. I just think Texas is ground zero. Bob, you know something about Texas. You having gone to school there and spent some time there. What is going on? Why is Texas ground zero for this? Why do you think Texas is leading the way, or one of the leaders in these laws and these things happening?
Well, look at the history of Texas. They always wanted to succeed the Union. They've always been rebelling. They think they separate. They think, I'm like, let them go. Let's sell them to another country. Look, because they be pulling down our economy. They actually pull down our economy more than they help giving information to the economy. But I mean, the whole abortion rights thing is crazy. Because I thought the Republican people was about individual rights, and they talk about taking the rights of women.
Exactly. I think that's rocked the nation, Bob, and perhaps it will get people in the go pattern. The abortion law says that after 6 weeks, you cannot get an abortion. And most women do not know that they're pregnant by 6 weeks. So right there. Also in the law, they have sort of a bounty hunter. Anybody can follow you around, follow a woman and tell them. I think that we're truly becoming the American Taliban. What about people's rights, women's rights? That is Texas's MO. They're doing the same thing with voting rights. They have literally taking us back years as we move into this through the 21st century. They want to take us back to before the 20th century.
I ain't going back. The GD's out power. Because Juan, this is the interesting thing. If you look at history, Black people was written out of the Constitution, but so were women. So this is nothing new. I mean, women have been on assault. I mean, when you read the Bible, I love the Bible, but man, they are hard on women. and women has been under attack, man. And I just don't get it, man. When they talk about having individual rights, how the Republicans can go against their own platform. I mean, it's just it's ludicrous, man. I mean, I'm talking about now, but this is all coming on the tail of ex-President Trump, who padded up all the lower courts, and now the chickens are coming home to roost. And we know we heard that before.
And that is something I think that as a people, as a party, the Democratic Party, we need to focus on these courts. The Supreme Court is at least 6-3 conservative versus liberal, although I don't like putting it like that. And they show disregard, but it is. They're showing disregard for the rights of people. I think it's been coming. They've been teeing up Roe v. Wade. Trump said it when he was running. And he said that there should be a punishment for women when he was running, being interviewed. So they do what they say. And I think that's something we're going to have to learn to do. And you and I talked about this. I believe that the Republican Party is not interested in governing. They're no longer a governing party. I believe they're becoming a ruling party.
No, I tell you what they are. They're a party that all they do, they whine, complain, and blame. That's it. Whine, complain, and blame. Because they don't come up with solutions for nothing. But Juan, so this also is playing into the part, I think, is it this week or sometime soon, they get ready to have some march about the people in jail who got put in jail from the insurrection. I mean, this is all with this assault on democracy too, correct?
Yes, all across the country.
So where do you think this is going? Where do you think it's going? Do you think they're going to win over? Do you think they're going to win over? I mean, do you think they're going to succeed in what they're trying?
I hope not. It's what we do about it. It's what the people do about it. However, I do feel like sometimes we're slow on the response. And how often do we ask, what are we going to do about it?
So what are the Democrats doing about it, Juan? Or
I think that. Go on, Bob.
No, you go.
The Democrats are trying to respond, but I believe that they play defense too much versus offense. And, both of us having been athletes, it's important to get that offense in. You can't play defense. Oftentimes, if you didn't know, Bob, that the Democrats control the Senate, control the Congress, and control the White House, who would you think is running the country right now?
The Republicans. I mean, the Democrats, man, I'm telling you, man, sometimes I just wonder, I mean, just like Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. I'm like, man, bunk that. When they go low, let's go lower. But I mean, you can't fight evil with evil. I mean, that's scriptural, right? But it's crazy, man. It's like, when I say, Juan, when they start that stuff, stop that damn fucking foolishness.
Stop that foolishness.
Stop that damn foolishness. Because it's not the foolishness, Juan. Come on, man. I mean, but so what Juan, I mean, do you have any solutions? Because Juan, I get tired. It seems like we're in the age now, everybody can articulate the problem. Everybody is good at with words and articulating and postulating the problem. But it seems like nobody's providing solutions. Do you have any solutions to this madness what the GOP is doing?
Well, I think we have to fight fire with fire. I believe that you cannot come to a gunfight with a water pistol. You have to respond. The Republicans use intimidation. They use scare tactics. I think we can tell the truth and get people interested. I believe we are in the majority, but it doesn't seem like we are oftentimes. But I think that this could backfire on the Republicans. Although they are putting laws in around the country to restrict the voting and to absolutely take over election polls and control the outcome. And so that's where we're going to have to push. I think that Biden should put more judges on the court or consider it. We can't be the same old, same old. You have to be willing to be innovative. You have to be willing to step out there, or there will be no next time.
Well, Juan, you know, so many people are worried about the Republican Party, and I'm like, man, they keep talking about, you know, oh my God, they change elections, which they are, but people forget the Republicans and Trump keep talking about the 74 men, but it was 83 men that voted approximately that voted against him. So why we keep focusing on the 74 when there's 83?
Exactly.
And people keep worrying about them, gerrymandering. They tried all of that just the last election, but it didn't work.
Yes.
So look, Juan, this was once again a lot of things that we have packed into this particular topic. You know.
Yes. So. Yes, it is. Which leads us right into good segue into another big event over the last couple of weeks is the pulling out of Afghanistan. 20-year war. My kids grew up during that time, but that I thought was overdue, timely, and would be met with understanding and a good reaction. However, it seems to have potentially backfired, even though it's been 20 years, the longest war in U.S. history. And I'm wondering, is this going to be a negative event in Biden's agenda, or will people finally come around and understand that war is hell and it was time to move on?
Hey, Juan, but this war, America might have been in it for 20 years, but this war has been going on since Genghis Khan. And look, this should have been a sign about this war, why we should have got in it. Anytime Russia went into Afghanistan and couldn't win and got up out of there, that should have been a clue. But we know what it's all about, Juan. It's all about the almighty dollar. All the defense funds they put into this. I mean, I remember they were talking about Halliburton, one of Dick Cheney's companies, providing the equipment and the utensils. I mean, they would be providing Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I mean, come on, man. It's all about capital and money. And Biden told these people in March that they should get out, but they didn't want to leave out. Why? Because they selfish, they're making money. I know all of them. That's not all the case, but majority of them, some of them even married people, and they wanted to stay.
Right.
So that's on them. But we should have been out of there, man. And so do you think Biden mismanaged the evacuation?
Well, something you said right there, Bob, before the Russians, the British went in, going way back, and their time came and went. They went out. They're sort of a 15th century people in many ways, trying to make it in the 21st century. And it's a group of tribes. So it's a very difficult place to manage. But you're right. The time spent in the last 20 years, I don't think was well spent. And I think that perhaps certain things could have been managed better, but it was ugly getting out of Vietnam. It's ugly getting out of here. I heard a quote that said that war doesn't begin well, it's not doing well in the middle, and it's not good in the end.
Right. So what did they expect? People were just going to walk out, peacefully. And I tell you one thing, I know they wasn't expecting the military men to lay down all their daggone weapons. I mean, come on, man. How could Joe Biden but that was crazy though, wasn't it, Juan? But the giveaway, Juan, the daggone president, he was the first one. That mother said he jumped in the limousine and was gone. That should have been the sign, man.
And has not been seen since. Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah,
it's like they're already fighting their own people too. It's tricky. But
so this is beating Biden up in the polls, Juan.
The polls are.
So when do you think he's going to come out on this? Because the polls, I mean, he's going down in the polls.
I'm iffy on polls. They take polls what seem like weekly, which is I know is good business for some, but they take polls weekly, and we are a fickle nation. And I believe that polls can change a month from now. However, with so many things going on, so many disasters, natural disasters, man-made disasters, the virus coming back, I believe that this too in time will fade somewhat. Albeit on other outlets, we won't mention names yet, on other outlets, they will try to make this the Benghazi, for those who may remember that, they'll try to make it Benghazi for Biden.
So what you mean we're not going to mention other outlets? You talking about Fox News? We saying this on point opinion. This is just our opinion. So that anybody can get it. Remember, you all, this is just our opinion. So we give a disclaimer. This is our opinions.
Yes.
And we want to make that clear. But Juan, speaking about polls, have they ever polled you?
I've not done a poll.
I've never been polled. But I'm like, who's these polls that they be talking about? And the average number of poll that people usually poll is like 1,000 people. I mean, come on,
the sample
man.
size.
Polls are big money, man. But I mean, this Republicans can't, like I said, they can't wait to blame someone on Joe Biden. But I think Joe Biden is handling it pretty well. But I mean, you just can't get out of Afghanistan. It was going to be dirty and that. I mean, it's amazing that he got out the way they did.
And evacuated people. That has not been done. Hundreds of thousands of people. And it's kind of a double-edged sword. They don't want the refugees here, but they wanted you to take all of them out of there and do it well and nicely, but we don't want them here. So it's sort of a can't win for Biden. But I think that this is all working because the Republicans don't tend to have policy. What policies do they have? Biden had gotten through stimulus, he had gotten through vaccine roll it out, and they've turned it into pure chaos. So I do think in time, historians and others will remember Biden to have done the right thing in getting out. And this too shall pass. I think during those 20 years, I guarantee you, those wars that are fought away from our shores, and I include myself, I did not think about Afghanistan year in, year out. I did not worry about the people. I did not, and that's not to slander, but we don't think about it. It's in the subject now, but I don't think people are thinking about Afghanistan.
Most people don't even know where Afghanistan is. But and this is the other thing, Juan. Afghanistan, Iraq, any of those places, it's like they're so small and they make them sound like they big, like they got all of this big power and all of this. But I just wondering where are we going with? I mean, America has done some disgusting things in other countries that they have to pay for.
They have to pay for. I think there needs to be a different approach, Bob, for that. Like China. We often say China is evil and doing this, but China is going out and building highways, financing things. They're trying to do it a different way.
Transit.
Yes, we can't even get high-speed rail. We need to leave the bombs alone. Bombs, those things are over, and go with peace building.
It's all cyber now, Juan. It's all cyber attacks. But look, why every time we mess with China like Trump did, they all come with some crazy stuff, man, to us? Why don't we leave China alone?
You better. I think you better leave China alone.
Why don't we leave China alone, man? Every time we mess with them, some crazy stuff, they do some crazy stuff to us, man.
And don't they hold our note? You're the
Yeah,
financial
they
man.
hold
Don't
the
they hold
majority
a
of our
note
note.
on us? We
Yeah,
owe them.
they hold the majority of the notes. They own half of California. But you know, man, Juan, it's just the way. I mean, in Afghanistan, in the Desert Storm under Big Daddy Bush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they stated that over 600,000 people, Iraqis, were killed,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not all soldiers. Those are citizens and people.
Right. Exactly.
Don't you think these people will be mad and upset and want to retaliate? And we sit back, oh, how dare they? How can they come over here and bomb us and do stuff? I said, but if you're going to kill somebody's family, the kids and all that, and that's just what they said they reported.
Right.
It's probably more than that. It probably was over 1 million people we bombed under Big Daddy Bush.
Right.
You know, in the name of the United States of America, in the name of God, come on, man. Stop all that.
Right.
Stop all that foolishness.
Well, I love Obama too, but he was known as utilizing the drones, which were devastating to people, what they call collateral damage.
Right.
So I think that we really need to recalibrate and try a new way of dealing with the world, if we're going to make it through.
So do you think we still should be like policing the world and helping other people? Should we be in a lot of these other countries still, like Germany with so many thousands of troops, and Spain and all these other countries? Do you think America still has a responsibility for democracy or peace?
Well, I think it's tough to go around the world screaming democracy when we struggle with democracy here.
Right.
In fact, I heard yesterday, and I was quite taken aback, but that the right wing, the insurrection, they are using the Taliban's takeover as a model for what they want to do, as you mentioned earlier about the march to free the political prisoners on March 18th. They are actually celebrating on out in the virtual world the Taliban's takeover, and that's the model they're using. So we are absolutely in for a wild ride.
So Juan, we talked enough about Afghanistan. Did you see the interview with Lester Holt and the black Capitol Police that shot the white woman insurrector that came through the window? Did you see that interview by any chance?
I did see that interview.
What do you think about that it was the black man that shot that white woman?
I'm worried for his safety. I heard that he's getting multiple threats and that he could be in danger. With that being said, he was cleared. Of course, they investigated it. And I think that they've known his identity for a long time. And on things like One American News and Fox News and Newsmax, they are, as well as on these sites, they are going after him. I'm still stunned he was the only one to pull his gun.
So, Juan, that's an interesting topic right there, because none of the white officers pulled their gun. I thought they were instructed not to draw their guns, but evidently he didn't get the memo because he fired her up. But it's so interesting that the black guy fired on the woman and none of the other white. I mean, is this hidden racism? Or what? I mean, you know, let me ask you this. Do you think he was a hero?
I think that he was a hero to those Congress people he felt he was protecting.
So why did he not get award or promotion like the other guy who, what they say, redirected the people from down the hallway and up the staircase, and then he was running by Mitt Romney and his assistant. Notice, he was running, he didn't even stop. He ran by Mitt Romney. He said, y'all better come on if you know what I know. Juan, you know, but people don't know, this guy was promoted. He was at the inauguration wearing a 3/4 length camel hair suit, camel hair coat, escorting the vice president, and he got a promotion. But the brother who was protecting his mother for the woman coming in, he didn't get a promotion. And this guy, they talking about he was a hero, Juan. They interviewed him right after he did what he did, and he said he was trying to just go back up the steps because he was communicating with his other police partners upstairs. Do you know he wasn't trying to go down and run down that hallway? Did you see that picture where it was the door where the congressmen were down the hallway?
I did.
And he took them the other way?
Yeah.
Come on, Juan. You know what happened. He knew in his head if he would have went down and knocked on that door and said, hey, let me in. The insurrectors are coming. And they would say, who is it? He said, it's me, Leroy. They went, Leroy who? Come on, man. He knew they wouldn't let him in. He said, man, I ain't going down there. The other daggone way. But Juan,
he might have been a smart man. I don't know how.
But my man, and it's interesting that you say the Capitol policeman that shot the woman that he's getting. You know, he's a threat. He's under threat.
Yeah. Well, he was supposed to be
a black man was under threat. That ain't nothing new. He was under daggone threat before he shot the daggone woman.
Well, I think he was in hiding for a while. I don't know if hiding's the right word, but I think he was in hiding. That video of the other young gentleman, that was shown over and over again. I think that's partially why so much more attention was given to it. But I do believe that the other officer, the one that Lester Holt interviewed, they were trying to protect him. I think even some wonder now, was it a good idea to come out and talk and reveal himself? But
he had to. I mean, he can't stay locked up forever, Juan.
Absolutely.
But the other guy, but I can understand the other guy is considered a hero, and this mug was running all around the Capitol. Did you see him? He was on the one up the stairs. Then he was running down the hall on the other side, the east side. Then they saw him running, jumping in his car in the parking lot, and he becomes the hero. I mean, maybe I'm wrong with something wrong, but come on.
Well,
Negro, please.
They're going to get tested again soon, March 18th.
Oh, it ain't gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
No. They're gonna be ready for these mugs this time. I can't see that happening again.
Really, and I'm the opposite. I'm not sold that. I think they're befuddled. I think they're hoping maybe it will not be the numbers they're thinking or something, but I just don't believe that they will be out in force like when the Black Lives Matter.
You think they're going to do the same thing again, Juan, the Capitol Police?
Say that again?
You think the Capitol Police are going to react the same way again, letting them come in there like they're touring? You think that's going to happen? Let me ask that for you. Hell to the no.
I don't think that they know what they're going to do right now. I think I heard that they may be putting up fences.
The fences, they stopped the mugs last time.
Well,
I tell you, they stop them up. Did you see that? And then I'm not advocating this, but did you see when that woman came through the window? None of the mugs went through that window after he lit her up.
Absolutely.
It's a daggone
They
fence.
did
Stop
not,
all
they
that.
did not, they did not bother that anymore.
Hey, Warren, I just want you to see here. I got my Alpha Phi Alpha shirt on. That's the crest. And these, you see the finks there? And Alpha Phi Alpha, the pride of our heart. Yeah.
You
So,
cleaned
hey,
up
Warren,
well.
yeah, okay. So, I don't know what's going to happen with the insurrection part 2, Warren, but
Mhm.
I hope I just hope they be a little bit more aggressive.
But it
And I
should be
don't,
out in force.
why I believe the country we live in, man. I got hope, man. I don't think they're gonna let that happen again.
Well, I like what you think. I just don't have the confidence that you have where that's concerned. And I think it's going to be interesting. It's
So
going to be
on.
interesting
Some
at
of my
best.
friends are feared that there may be a race riot.
Mhm. Mhm.
What's your take on that? Do you think we're on the cusp of having civil unrest? Because I was looking at the people in Afghanistan, I'm like, you know
Mhm.
what? That's not too far fetched. That could be happening here.
Mhm.
Because we
What
think it can't happen to us.
I think that there are some who want that, and they are creating chaos. And it is up to us to try to put a hard stop on that. But
But
I
how?
do think
What's the solution
that
again, Juan?
I do think that, and you and I debate on this. I do think that they are trying to get Trump back in office, and that he needs to be. They need to be called out for what they are: American terrorists, domestic terrorists. The one who led this and planned it and helped do it uh, is Donald Trump, and he should be
And Steve Bannon. Don't
prosecuted for
forget
the
Steve
such. I
Bannon.
think they're letting him off the hook
Don't forget Steve Bannon.
and Bannon, and Trump should
Juan,
be
let me tell you the
letting off the hook.
solution. Let me tell you, Juan, there will not be a race riot. You know why?
Why is that?
Because this is not 1970, 1960. I know black people that got just as much ammo as some of them white militia mugs. So I'm saying to y'all right now, you think, now back in the 60s, Muggs just had the bullets in his gun. I gotta admit, black man didn't. I know people that got serious stacks of ammo, AK 47s, AR 15, grenade launchers. Man, I know Muggs got major. So no, it ain't gonna happen. That we're not going back there, man. This is not the goddamn Civil War, man. I mean, stop it.
Right, right,
Not
right.
the damn foolishness.
Exactly. I think that is the case. However, I don't think that they have their eye on the brothers and the brothers with the guns. I don't think that that is the target. They're looking for soft targets, which they're planning on school boards, where they're raiding now, going in schoolhouses, coming here to the Capitol, going by small towns, taking over there. That's what they're looking for. They're not trying to go to Philadelphia, down in the city. They're not trying
Chicago.
to go
We both got more
southeast
guns in Chicago than
Chicago. They're not trying to go there. There's no need. We don't hold the power there.
yeah, they take their hoods
They're
off, Juan,
going
and put
where
on a suit.
they are intimidating people who work in
Right.
election boards. They're leaving. They know who to threaten. They know who to deliver. So um, we have to look at all fronts, Bob, basically.
Because they
But
done took their
but
hoods
I'm
off.
hoping, I'm praying for what you say will be
They
the
took
outcome. But
they took their hoods
I'm not
off.
feeling it.
They took their hoods off and put on suits. They
Mhm.
gotten smart, like you say, and they're going into councils and they're finding out, the difference is how you affect policy.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they got a different approach. So Juan,
Mhm.
let's switch subjects for right now. Let's switch to our next topic.
Well, you and I talk about it. We're both former athletes, and there's some concern that uh, there are no NFL or no football players coming out of HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, for those of you who don't know the acronyms, but there were none drafted past years
Drafted weirdo
to the NFL.
Right.
And that's a problem. I feel. I think
Why?
that there should be more opportunity for them. But that's sort of been the trend. I do know for years. The kind of let them, try out or NFL. So I'm just I speculate on wonder. All the talent been drained out of the university?
No. How can we say all the time as much talent black folks have? So Juan, some are saying that the COVID had impact because remember the HBCUs, they closed the mugs down.
Yes. It was hard.
Like most black people, they took the vaccination to wear the mask, so they weren't on the circuit to be scouted. So that's one excuse that COVID. A lot of black universities
schools were shut down.
Their programs, their football and basketball programs, their sports and athletics. Period. But I think that's a bunch of bull. Because like the young boy out of Grambling State, the guard, he was signed as a free agent, $15,000 bonus, $110,000 contract. They're getting these guys on the cheap one. So I smell a rat one. Because how can not one black player from a historically black college and university not be drafted into the NBA, into the NFL? And what is that? Is it 28 teams, 32 teams, something like that? Not one team, and look all the rounds they have. Come on, man, that's hidden racism. Am I wrong?
Well, yeah, I think you're spot on in that they can pick them up cheaper, and they're not on TV every week. Although I've seen that ESPN is showing their games once a week on there, so that's good. Especially, I love to see the bands as well. But what I find interesting, Bob, I tuned into a major game, the Alabama's against Tennessee, and I think it's a HBCUs playing. The 99% of the players are people of color, black, and so I just think that what you said, there's money in this, and they can get those players cheaper, and they make them try out. It's unfortunate because they've had such great players. I mean, at one time, Grambling was the school. I think they had as many draft picks. Maybe only Alabama or somebody had more players make the NFL than Grambling at one time.
Right.
But that just goes to show you that I think your message is right. I think that they will get them cheaper, and they'll let them walk on. And that's unfortunate.
Once again, though, what can we do about it? What's the solution? Because we always have these problems. But what is the solution? I mean, because a lot of them are going to PWIs, predominantly white institutions, like you said, and I don't fault them for going. But I know some people say, but they should stay at the HBCUs. Like the number one basketball player in America went to Howard University.
Yes,
it's starting to be a trend there. But I don't know if all of them should be going to HBCUs. I mean, but you can't tell me there's not a talented player at HBCU make an NBA.
Well, that's the dichotomy. That's the dichotomy. I watched some games last week, and it was exciting. And there's some gifted players. And as you know well, Bob, once you lace them up, it doesn't matter where you come from. We compete, and we'll go at it. I think you and I had the same talk about baseball and things. I think
look at
it's going to be a
baseball.
challenge.
It was less than maybe 17% in baseball.
Right. Yeah.
And look, but you know what's interesting? What's interesting, the NBA got a bunch of black players, and they got about 13 black coaches now in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So we tend to, have infiltrated that. But Juan, I wonder is, this is nothing new, Juan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, how can there be no black jockeys? And
Mm-hmm.
the biggest horse racing is, they all the trainers, getting the horse together, with no black jockeys.
And at one time, we were the main jockeys.
Yeah. The first 10 Kentucky Derbies were won by black jockeys.
Right.
But the money started coming in, and once again, the white guys wanted to ride the horses. And people don't know this one. You know the little lantern with the black jockey in the yard that became like a racial symbol?
Flashpoint.
Those were actually created as tributes because they banned black jockeys from horse racing, and they was a tribute. But then, what those black jockeys became, the underground, they were symbols for signals for people traveling on the underground that white folks were having, putting those. So, but Juan, what about golf?
What about golf? Caddies.
No, where are black caddies?
Caddies. So
this is nothing new, man.
Right. So perhaps in time, we'll slowly start to get that turned around. But like anything, you're going to have to go through that struggle, I think, right now.
Was Biden and Kamala, President Biden and Kamala Harris, if I'm right, quote me if I'm wrong. I mean, stop me, correct me if I'm wrong with this quote. But I thought they said there wasn't any systemic racism in America. How do you feel about that statement, Juan?
Well, I believe they were talking for the cameras, and Kamala was talking to perhaps take over for Biden at some point. There's no question that there's systemic racism, but nobody wants to deal with critical race theories or the history of race in this country. And that is a flashpoint. Right now, it is a flashpoint for everything that we're doing. Look at what's going on in schools everywhere. So,
well, our last topic, Juan, schools versus states, since you just brought that up. The new variant, and then the third, or the booster shot, should I say, the mask mandates and bans. What in the world is what? Where are we going with this? I mean, my daughter goes to UNC, Chapel Hill, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and they had a COVID outbreak. Her roommate caught the COVID, a suite mate caught the COVID. Thank God.
Yes.
My daughter did not test positive. We got at home now. She had to quarantine because her roommate did have it. But yeah, they had 87% of the students were vaccinated. And they have a mandate of masks in every building. But it's that 13%. I think only 80%, 77% of the teachers. I mean, where are we going with this, Juan? I mean, bans against people wearing masks, kids wear masks. You have any idea? What's your thoughts?
Well, that has become the lightning rod right now, and sadly, they've turned that into a very political, very divisive thing right now at the worst time. So what's happening at your daughter's school is going on around the country. Just to add to that, I just heard that the teachers that just started school in our county, where I live, Montgomery County, in Maryland, for those of us outside who are listening, Montgomery County, Maryland, many of the teachers had to be quarantined, having to leave because of the COVID immediately. So it really is a problem. Unfortunately, they politicized it. And as I said, the worst time with a variant, with continued hospitals being overflowing, and many states still below 50% vaccination. When around the world, there are countries that are begging for the vaccine. So I do believe that we have to find a way. I mean, Bob, didn't I hear that they have some people who are taking horse tranquilizers or
yes, they
something
got
like
this.
that?
I forgot the name of it, and these mugs are dying. Juan, this is what I can understand. Now I know it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a personal choice to take the vaccination, but I'm hearing people talking about they don't trust the doctors, but yet they're taking diabetic pills,
Mm-hmm.
kidney pills, high blood pressure pills. I mean, how about this? These must have been eating hot dogs and chicken McNuggets for years. They never asked what's in those.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Juan, I
Flu
just
shots, pneumonia
flu shot. I
shots.
mean, you can't even go to public school and taking certain immunity shots.
Right.
Where are we getting this rebellious spirit? It seems like it's a rebellious spirit. And it came out, seems like Donald Trump released this even more so, because it wasn't just him, it's been there, but he helped release it. But I'm like, so Juan, when somebody comes to me talking about that, it's their personal right. Do you know what I say to them, Juan?
What do you say?
Stop that daggone foolishness. Come on, man. That's a bunch of foolishness, man.
We can use that. That's going to be the term of the next millennium.
I just had a friend who was delivering dinners to seniors. And I asked him, I said, man, you vaccinated? He said, nah, Bob, I'm waiting to see what's going on. Fauci is in cahoots with China. He's behind this. And Bill Gates is with the World Health Organization. I'm waiting to find out. Juan, my good friend died 3 days ago, last week.
Wow.
So stop the daggone foolishness, man. Yeah. But Juan, we got some wonderful folks out there watching. We got my wonderful friend Kitty Cheney, FDIC's one of the best Toastmaster speakers you ever would meet. You got wonderful co-worker Joanne Skinner, and Zoe Prince is out there watching. Juan.
Zoe.
And then we have the illustrious, the incomparable, the queen of Alpha Kappa Alpha, Miss Gloria Allen Smith, what happens to be the mother of my son, Scott Allen, who's up there in New York City University doing his thing.
Hey, all right.
Checking us out. Thank you. But Juan, this brings us to this point, man. The end of the show, we have a segment that we call Point Blank. And Point Blank is a commentary spot that me and Juan will give our commentary. And we call it Point Blank. So, you want me to go first, Juan?
I'll kick it off, Bob. Our new Point Blank segment. I think what we try to do is bring it from top to bottom. We started off the show talking about the new laws in Texas, what they're doing all the way down, the control, the laws, your voting rights, right down to problems with schools and the vaccinations. And they're all interconnected. They're all interconnected. And that's what we want to bring to you all. There's so many subjects. There are so many issues, and we know that these are difficult times for some. But I would just say, do not become complacent. I've had a very good life. I'm very fortunate. I don't have problems, but I do worry about the future for our children. You heard us mention our children on the show, our friends, and our family. And I think that I hear so much great information come from friends and family. And we are not going to be able to hit everything, but please share, continue to look, and continue to check in. We will be having a guest on the show in the future, but we want to cover the things that are important to you all, but do not become complacent. This is not the time for it, because you can wake up one day and the rights that we've come to love and really just almost take for granted can be taken away. It's hard to believe, but they can be. So stay vigilant, and I can't wait to get back next month and go at it again.
Cool. Well, we have a wonderful, my neighbor grew up across the street. A young boy. I remember this boy was knee high to a donkey's behind with a bad basketball playing dude.
Is that
Dirk,
right? All right.
Dirk. And then guess who just jumped on? My son, Scott Allen.
Oh, we just brought his name up. All right, Scott.
Yeah, and Gloria put a comment. She said, and Gloria is in Dallas, Texas. And she said the laws that Abbott is enacting in Texas are not about the issues. He is seeing how far he can go. Absolutely. And she's saying this is his last term. Yeah. He is all about power. You're right about that, Gloria.
Absolutely.
And I hope this definitely is his last term, and I hope y'all make it his last term.
There you go. Make it his last term. And the Attorney General there is under indictment, under investigation.
Right. My point blank commentary, Juan, is people need to get involved with policy making, not politics. Politics is more like entertainment. Mm-hmm. Politics is more like shaking hands and making false promises and going to dinners and fundraisers. But policy making is where it is at. Mm-hmm. That's why they have the lobbyists to go in and policy. And so I'm urging people to get involved in your state capitals, in your city councils. And that's how change is made with policy making. Now, the young people, the reason why most young people don't even understand the three areas of government. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They don't even know about it. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because they're taking civics out of schools. They're taking government classes out of school. So they don't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. But they need to. They need to get involved. They need to go down and get on these panels, get on these boards where you can make policy, because that's where change is made. That's where people with the big money, what they do. What do? They pay off the people, mm-hmm. the lobbyists, mm-hmm. the congressmen, the senators, mm-hmm. to make policy that favors them. Mm-hmm. They don't. That's why they're giving them money. They ain't giving money. They don't care less about some party. They trying to drive, especially business. They trying to drive policy. Mm-hmm. So that's my point blank comment. We need to get more involved mm-hmm. in the civics of things and bring it back into the schools so the young people can get involved and get understanding. Gloria said, yes, if Black people would start voting local, we can get control, because the percentage of white people don't vote local either. Very good point. So
all politics are local.
The first Sunday of every month at 6 p.m. on Point Opinion. Check us out. Please go out there on YouTube and subscribe to On Point Opinions to help us expand our viewership. On Facebook Live, go out there. You can't click on enough of the like buttons or the smile or the heart or the smiley face, okay? Juan, that's a sick looking heart that you made. You look like a damn tomato. But anyway, we just hope we thanks for all the people who joined us. This is one of the first time we've seen some of y'all people out there. And Zoe made a comment, Juan. Civics is so needed. Thank you, Zoe, up there in New York. One of the best event planners. He's one of the best event planners in the universe. Zoe gets it done. If you don't need an event planner, check out Zoe. But Gloria said, y'all need a female voice. I just volunteered. Oh, Lord. Good Lord. Thank you for warning us. Hey, oh, man, Delonzo. Oh, man, Dee. What's up? We got Dee. Man, we got a bunch of people joining us, Juan.
Great.
Dee. What's up, Dee? Juan, that's it. Do you have any closing? Do you have any other things before we get out of here?
We're just getting started. We're gonna ride this thing right on through, and so much to do. And this is where we're you all's voices as well. Let's get this. Let's keep this thing going, and send you your thoughts, and always I'll take your prayer.
And remember, on point opinions. Sunday. First Sunday of every month at 6 p.m. Our slogan is knowledge. What is it? Oh, empowering people with information. Because remember, you can lead a person to knowledge, but you can't make them think. Hello, Juan.
Hello.
On behalf, Juan, great show, man. See you next month, my brother. Peace.